Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, my name is Danny Cryer, and I am a police officer. Let me start with a few images that might come to mind when you hear the words law enforcement officer. Some people imagine officers playing evidence, abusing their authority, or being caught up in different types of lawsuits. Others may picture traffic stops where drivers argue their case on the side of the road instead of in a courtroom. These stereotypes are virtually everywhere. They're on social media, they're in movies, even in our everyday conversations. And while there's absolutely no denying that misconduct has occurred in some cases, the truth is that the majority of officers dedicate their lives to protecting communities with integrity, professionalism, and courage. What I'd like to do today is challenge some of those misconceptions and highlight why law enforcement is not only an honorable profession, but also one of the most impactful and urgently needed career paths a person can pursue. So why does law enforcement matter? Law enforcement matters because at its core, law enforcement is about service. Officers serve as the first line of defense in emergencies, the immediate responders when disaster strikes, and the guardians of public order. There are very few professions that give individuals the chance to make a difference in real time that the way policing does. So just think about natural disasters, school emergencies, or even something as simple as a lost child at the mall or the park. Law enforcement officers are the ones who show up, who take all the risk, and who put others' safety before their very own. These moments rarely make headlines, yet they represent the true heart of policing. For those considering this career, it's not just about enforcing laws. It's about protecting lives and strengthening the fabric of our communities. Now, I'd like to address the reality. Law enforcement is not an easy career. Officers today face public scrutiny like never before. The stereotype of police planting drugs or abusing their power, it's not just damaging, it overshadows thousands of officers who do their jobs ethically every single day. And, I'll admit, officers may be threatened by lawsuits. And yeah, some people sometimes resist, argue, or record every single encounter just hoping to catch a mistake. But instead of discouraging future recruits, these challenges should inspire the right kind of people to step forward. Law enforcement needs individuals with integrity, patience, and professionalism. It needs people who will rise above the noise and prove the stereotypes wrong through their actions. If anything, the scrutiny today creates an opportunity to rebuild trust, to demonstrate transparency, and to model what ethical policing looks like in the 21st century. But in reality, beyond public perception, the numbers themselves show why promoting law enforcement as a career is so very critical. Between 2020 and 2022, police hiring plummeted. Agencies across the country saw resignations and retirements spike, while new recruits declined sharply. Some departments lost nearly 1/5 of their staffing in this period. By 2023, hiring had begun to rebound, reaching some of the highest levels it's seen in 4 years. But even with that growth, many agencies still struggle to fill these vacancies. Today, as of 2025, overall staffing remains about 5% below pre-2020 levels. And while some of your smaller agencies have recovered, the larger city departments are the ones that still facing the toughest challenges. They're still operating with fewer officers than they did just 5 years ago. This means there's thousands of openings in law enforcement nationwide. The demand is there. Communities need capable, professional individuals willing to step into these roles. And that's where all of you come in. The next generation of recruits who can both rebuild the workforce and redefine the culture of policing. Skills and growth opportunities in law enforcement show a career that's not just limited to traffic stops and arrest. You know, modern officers wear many hats. They're investigators, counselors, mediators, and community liaisons. The profession develops skills in leadership, communication, crisis management, and cultural awareness. These are skills that can and will transfer into nearly any other field. In addition, law enforcement offers structured career growth, from patrol to specialized units like cyber crimes, narcotics, community outreach, also into leadership roles like sergeants, lieutenants, and even chiefs. The opportunities in law enforcement are very, very diverse. Educational incentives, ongoing training, and federal partnerships also expand the profession beyond local boundaries, so you're not stuck to one small area. You know, there's a human side to this too. Beyond training and advancement, the heart of this career lies in the human connection. Officers don't just enforce the law, they mentor youth, they comfort victims, and they build bridges with neighborhoods. The most effective officers understand that respect is earned and not demanded. While there are still going to be some people that resist or argue on the roadside, but many others thank officers for their presence. They rely on them for guidance, and they view them as role models. Each interaction is a chance to change perceptions and leave a lasting impact. For someone who values people, relationships, and community, few careers offer such daily opportunities to influence lives directly. So, when we strip away all the headlines, stereotypes, what remains is a career defined by service, sacrifice, and impact. Law enforcement is not for everyone, but for the right individuals, for the right people, it offers unmatched purpose. The workforce data tells the story very clearly. Police hiring is rebounding, but the field is still facing some shortages. The need for motivated, ethical recruits has never been greater. I encourage those of you here today to see past these myths, to recognize the resilience and professionalism that this job requires, and to consider whether you might be one of the next generation of officers. One of the next generation who will redefine the image of policing for our future. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.